Howdy, cousins and country folk, and welcome back to Poorly Educated Podcast. Today in the news edition, I'm your host, Bubba Joe, or whichever fancy name you'd like to call me, and we're fixin' to dig into today's headlines. That's right, we're gonna talk politics, airplanes, cinnamon, you heard me, storms in the sky, and some good old-fashioned redneck commentary, because why not? So pull your truck up, pop open a sweet tea, sit on the porch swing, and let's chew the fat together. Segment 1. A Nation on Edge. Shutdown enters day. 39 as political gridlock paralyzes Washington. All right, first up, we got ourselves a humdinger of a story. The U.S. government shutdown has entered day 39, the longest in history. Yep, they done shut the place down longer than my cousin Earl's pickup being in the shop after he backed into the barn. The upper chamber, the United States Senate, convened on a Saturday, which for redneck lawmakers is like going deer hunting on a Sunday. Weird and probably necessary. They're meeting, but according to reports, there's no signs of an imminent breakthrough. It's like watching two tractors try to tow a stubborn mule uphill. One side's kicking, the other's braying, and neither's moving. The House of Representatives ain't even there. They're on a district work period, which in redneck terms means they're fishin', or else. So the Senate's left holding the barn door while the horses run off. The Democrats made an offer. They said, hey, we'll pass the funding bill if you'll extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits for a year. The Republicans said, nah, we ain't budgin'. One senator called it political terrorism. Now that's some highfalutin trouble talk, right? In redneck speak, that's like, if you don't stop hogging the good fishing hole, I'm gonna dynamite it. Meanwhile, the White House has got a stance of no compromise. They're saying that if folks want help, they should just get the subsidies directly rather than through the existing program. That's like telling your neighbor, hey, I won't feed the pigs. You go buy your own slop. On top of all that, they're messing with rules. The president wants to scrap the Senate's 60-vote filibuster. That's like saying, I'm taking away the fence so any varmint can wander through. So now we got three groups locked in a stalemate. Senate Dems, Senate Reps, and the White House. It's like a three-way tug-of-war, but the rope's been cut and no one's moved. So that's segment 1. Felt like a slow-poke mud race in the spring, nobody getting traction. Let's hope somebody puts on four-wheel drive and gets us out of this mess. Segment 2. The shutdown's cascading crises. A fracturing of national systems. Now in segment 2, we're going to talk about how the shutdown is starting to hit us where it hurts, in the belly and the skies. For starters, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, better known as SNAP, is stuck in legal quicksand. 42 million folks are waiting on benefits like they're waiting on rain for the crops. A federal judge ordered the money to go out. The administration fought it. The Supreme Court stuck a stay on it. It's a rodeo of legal wrangling. In some states, payments dropped. In others, they paused. States like Wisconsin already kicked out $104 million to 337,000 households. Colorado's got theirs queued. North Carolina had to pull back. It's patchy. Imagine your grandma fixin' supper and half the pantry's empty 'cause the corn sproutin' machines broke. That's what this looks like. Then there's the skies. The Federal Aviation Administration ordered airlines to cut flights, thousands of them, because their air traffic controllers, federal employees, working without pay for 39 days, are showing signs of stress. They're going down 4% now, ramping to 10% by November 14th. Over 1,000 flights canceled already. Some airlines are waiving change fees. This ain't just about missing your connection to Vegas. This is about folks being stranded, packages delayed, and holiday travel going sideways. It's like if your pickup's brakes failed and you're coasting into the ravine while the radio's playing Don't Stop Believin'. And here's the kicker. The economy is going phantom. The University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Index sagged to 50.3, near the all-time low. Official data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics and Bureau of Economic Analysis? All ghosted. Private firms trying to fill the gap. For ordinary folk in flyover country, it's like checking the mailbox expecting your seed order, but it never comes. The fields stay bare. Let's be honest. This shutdown started as a backroom fight in Washington, but now it's sitting on your porch, chewing on your sweet tea, and letting your dog out at midnight. That's how personal it's getting. Segment 3. Major incidents. Aviation and public safety shaken. On to Segment 3. Things are getting shaky in the skies and on the streets. First up, the global air cargo meltdown. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating Boeing's MD-11 aircraft after a crash in Louisville killed 14 folks, 3 crew, 11 on the ground. The left engine detached. The cockpit alarm rang for 25 seconds, then kaboom. The cargo fleets of UPS, FedEx, and Western Global Airlines grounded the MD-11s. So not only are passenger flights getting cut by the FAA, but now the cargo network that delivers your turkey and moonshine in December is slowed down. It's like the tractor's broken, the trailer's got a flat, and the mules run off. Then there's a tragic incident in Ybor City, Tampa. A police chase, a crash into a crowd outside a bar. 4 dead, 11 injured. The driver was street racing. Officers disengaged. The crash still happened. The debate starts. Did the chase cause the crash? Did not chasing avoid more deaths? In redneck terms, it's like deciding whether vintage whiskey is worth the chance of setting the barn on fire. So we got aviation failures and street-level mayhem all in one day. Rednecks know, if your truck's tailpipe falls off, and your friend runs you off the road in his 4-wheeler, that's a bad day. Multiply that by thousands. That's what we're looking at. Segment 4. The Trump White House. Executive actions in foreign and domestic policy. Now for Segment 4, let's mosey over to the White House and see what moves are getting made. First, our fearless leader, Donald Trump, met with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán and granted Hungary a 1-year exemption from U.S. sanctions on Russian oil in exchange for Hungary buying $600 million in U.S. LNG. Yep, we're bartering our sanction policy like we're trading hogs at the county fair. You buy our gas, we let you buy theirs. It's kinda like banking on your cousin Earl to not drink your moonshine before turkey shoot. Dangerous. Then, a federal court in Oregon permanently blocked the National Guard deployment to Portland. Judge Karen Immergut, a Trump nominee herself, said the administration's argument that Portland was a war zone was untethered to the facts. Snapped like a twig. Also, the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, got caught in a doozy of a procurement mess, trying to buy engineless Boeing 737s from Spirit Airlines for deportation flights and maybe personal travel for officialdom. Career ICE officials warned this was more expensive and fishy. Spirit doesn't even own the planes. So in one corner, you got foreign policy wheelin' and dealin'. In the other, you got domestic overreach and procurement gone wild. For rednecks, that's like living on the farm and watching your cousin make deals with the county commissioner for a second-hand tractor with no motor and then complain when the corn don't grow. Segment 5. Economic and market integrity. Segment 5 is where the numbers hit home. The economy's starting to feel like a jacked-up pickup with no tires. Stocks ended the week awful. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 1.4%. The S&P 500 dropped 1.8%. The Nasdaq Composite sank 3.2%. Tech stocks got whacked. Nvidia Corporation down over 9%. Oracle Corporation dropped 10%. Palantir Technologies tumbled 14%. Why? Because the shutdowns got consumer sentiment tanking. See that 50.3 number earlier. And official government data is on vacation. The BLS and BEA aren't rendering reports, so investors are in the dark, flying blind, trying to guess if the tractor's engine's gonna start or not. On the energy side, the Department of Energy is considering forcing 2 Colorado coal plants to stay open past retirement under a 1935 act. That's like your grandpappy refusing to sell the old plow when the fancy combine's been sitting idle for a year. Meanwhile, trade policies all over the dang place. Tariffs expand, trade relief paused, allies spooked. In redneck terms, when your budget for shotgun shells goes up, your hunting season's cut short, and your pickup breaks down, you start wondering whether you should have stuck to the mule. Segment 6. Political Landscape. 2025 Election Autopsy and 2026 Implications. Okay, folks, Segment 6 is about who's doing the worrying in their campaign barns. The Latino vote? Swinging back to the Democrats big time. In New Jersey, Democrat Mikey Sherrill got 68% of the Latino vote. In Virginia, Abigail Spanberger got 67%. That's a reversal of what the GOP thought they had in 2024, when Donald Trump got 46%. Political mapmakers in Texas and elsewhere had assumed the GOP's gains were permanent. Turns out it was like assume you caught a big bass just because you saw its tail. It can still spit you out. Now those districts are at risk. In Redneck Parable, you told your buddies you had the best BBQ rub and everyone showed up. But turns out the rub was just sugar and paprika. Folks ain't coming back, so the GOP is licking wounds and redrawing lines. Segment 7. National Alerts, Public Health and Weather. Final segment, y'all. We got some alerts. The Food and Drug Administration, FDA, expanded a public health alert. Don't buy certain ground cinnamon because of elevated lead. Yep, cinnamon. Your pie spice might kill you faster than your uncle's homemade moonshine. Also, a botulism risk for uneviscerated fish in New York City. Fish. Also, new visa rules. Chronic conditions like diabetes and obesity might hurt your green card or tourist visa chances. So if you've been eating nothing but ribs and hush puppies and your waistline's bigger than your truck bed, the U.S. might just say, no thanks. Weather-wise, the NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center has a G2 geomagnetic storm watch, a moderate level, for November 8th. Could mess with power grids, GPS, satellites. Meanwhile, there's a marginal severe thunderstorm risk in northern Georgia, the Carolinas, and the lower Ohio Valley. Fog advisories for Illinois and Iowa. And parts of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park are shut down due to forecasted severe weather. If you're out hunting or fishing this weekend, watch that sky. It ain't just the deer moving. It might be the satellites glitching. In conclusion. Well, folks, that wraps up today's edition of the Poorly Educated Podcast. Today in the news. We covered shutdowns, planes falling out of the sky, cinnamon that might poison you, and political swings wilder than a bucking bronco. I hope y'all had your boots tied tight, your sweet tea filled, and your antenna TV tuned in. If you liked hearing this, holler at your neighbors, share it on their tractor radio, and we'll be back soon with more redneck commentary on highfalutin world events. Until then, keep your boots muddy, your truck gas tank full, and don't trust the civvies telling you everything's fine. This is your host, signing off. Keep it real, keep it country, and stay poorly educated. Yeehaw!